I don't know how to introduce this next subject to you guys. This is a difficult one. We're going to be bringing people to the front of the congregation. And so the first person that I got to bring to the front of the congregation, well, before I bring him to the front of the congregation, let me ask you guys a question. What would cause a man? What would cause a man to go crazy? I don't know. I've never went crazy. What would cause a man to absolutely positively lose it to the point to where he is willing to crash all the way out, even with kids, even with a girl, and he's ready to do something that he uncharacteristically would never do in life, something that we could never ever think of, something that we could never ever dream of. Y'all said cootie cat, divorce, losing a kid, money, stress, women, a woman. Wow. Women? Is it all women? Losing a kid, pressures, a woman, losing a job, Jada. A woman. Good grief. Are women that deadly? Job loss, women, cat, jobs, stress and loss of options, alcohol. All right, well, let's see. Let me share with you this story. A man decided to go and set a whole house on fire. This is making the rounds in the news, and I want to share it with you guys first here on the Millionaire Morning Show. Make sure y'all get the likes up, tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat.
This is breaking news.
Joseph, turn yourself in. That's what you best do. Turn yourself in, Joseph. And that ain't no lie. Turn yourself in. Call me. Turn yourself in.
Today at noon on Fox 8, a grandfather of 3 children killed in a fire pleads with his son to surrender to police. Good afternoon, I'm Liz Reyes. That fire in New Orleans East killed 2 boys, ages 8 and 3, and a 5-year-old girl. Andres Fuentes is live on America Street in the Plum Orchard neighborhood. Andres.
Liz, you know, I've been here all morning long and talking to a lot of the family members that have come by, and they said the same thing. This is the worst day of their lives, and neighbors tell me the same thing as well. This is a traumatic day for them. They're never, ever going to see the 3 children that used to play right here on this front lawn ever again. Now, according to the New Orleans Police Department, they are investigating this as a triple homicide, and they did tell us early this morning that they did get a 911 call from the mother of the 3 children as she was coming home from work. She told the police that the father of the children were threatening to burn down the house, and family members as well as neighbors all identify that father as Joseph Washington. Now, we also got surveillance video from a nearby neighbor which shows a man coming out of the home, down the steps and into a car, and then driving off as the back of the house starts to catch on fire. That's the surveillance video that police right now are looking into and trying to identify whether or not that is Joseph Washington. Now, according to the fire department, firefighters rushed to the scene as soon as they got word that there was a fire here on the block. And they found that neighbors were here rushing to the scene as well, trying to get as many children out as possible, because a lot of these neighbors are very close-knit. They knew that there were 3 children still inside. They did their best. Firefighters say that they found a 5-year-old girl and an 8-year-old boy near the front door, looking like they were trying to open the front door actually to escape the flames. They were quickly removed from the homes. Some neighbors and some fire officials tried to do their best to resuscitate them. They rushed them to the hospital, and unfortunately that's where they died. As far as the 3-year-old boy, fire officials tell me that he was in the middle of the house, and it took firefighters longer to get inside because of the flames, and unfortunately he died on the scene. I spoke to the neighborhood association president, who really could not comprehend exactly what happened here. This tragedy struck her more than most. Take a listen.
I have children. It's a terrible way to lose your children. Yep. And it's a terrible, you think you're leaving your family in the arms of the daddy that could do them some good justice. Look what happened. So
Let me first say that prayers up for the family. Prayers up for everybody who is in that community and everybody that's ever had an interaction with them children. I can't think of, and the reason why I asked y'all this question in the beginning is I cannot personally think of one thing. I can't think of one thing in my entire life. Not one. I can't think of one thing in my entire life that would cause for me to do that. What would cause a man? What could possibly cause a man to go in the house? Think about this. He went into the house, knew apparently, obviously, that the children were there. Probably locked the door on his way out because they said that the children couldn't even get out. Set the house on fire and then walked away like nothing was even, like nothing happened. I can't think of a more miserable way to go, man. I just can't. I can't think of a more miserable way to go. The fear that was possibly in that household. I mean, man, listen, man, I come across stories. Y'all send me this type of stuff all the time. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in my entire life. How can you set the house on fire for kids that are yours? Listen, we're not even talking about people that he didn't know or some. These are people like, let me rewind this. Let me show you. He's the father. How does the father do it? It ain't a piece of child support that would cause me to ever do nothing like that against a kid, let alone my kids. It's not a piece of child support. It's not a woman. It's not a person on the face of this earth that could ever cause me to do something like this. Let me continue with the story.
I have children. It's a terrible way to lose your children. Yep. And it's a terrible, you think you're leaving your family in the arms of the daddy that could do them some good justice. But look what happened. So something had to happen to him.
Now, neighbors in the area have been spending some time this morning trying to clean up some of the supplies and emergency equipment that firefighters and police have left behind, as well as you're looking a live look right now at some of the balloons that people in the community have left behind as well for the family right here. I got word that most of the family still right now in the hospital grieving this loss, and as we get more information about how they're doing, we'll be updating you on air and online, as well as the NOPD as they continue investigating this now triple homicide. But we also got word from Councilwoman Helena Moreno that the domestic violence vigil that will be happening outside of City Hall this afternoon, there will also be a portion dedicated to the 3 children who died here due to the fire, that all starting at 4 o'clock this afternoon. But for now, reporting live here in New Orleans East, back to you, Liz.
And Andres, I got to ask you, as more people show up at that scene, how would you describe the mood there? Anger, heartache? What are you hearing from people as news spread of this horrific incident?
Like I said, for the families, for sure, family members that have trickled in, it's the worst day of their lives. A lot of these neighbors, I got word that a lot of these homes were built at the same time, and these neighbors moved in essentially at the same time. So they all knew each other for years and years and years. A lot of the children that they had grew up with the same 3 children here at the home. Speaking with some parents in the area, it hasn't really hit them yet. They were supposed to be on the school bus today heading to school, and now they're getting word that, the children.
That's crazy, man. That's it's nothing that you can do to explain this. I just can't wrap my mind around what you would do or what somebody could do that would cause for you to do this. Even if you found out that the kids, I mean, I see y'all giving a lot of different explanations. Even if you found out that the kid wasn't yours, I'm not taking, I can't, man. I can't. Listen, it's a lot of boundaries that we cross as human beings on a daily basis. I've seen some really evil things be done in my life, especially growing up in the spaces that I grew up in and going and dealing with different people and all of this stuff. And I've heard some stories from people that came on the platform. But it's got to be a line that we just don't cross as a people, as a community. I can even understand, with the freedom and all of the advocating for equal everything between men and women and the whole gender war thing, that if people say, you know what, well, if a woman hit me, then I'm going to defend myself and all of that. Okay, you can have conversations about that. But the kids, though, 3 years old, 5 years old, the kids, your own children, you cannot tell me that the devil is not real. You can't tell me. There's no way you can convince me that there is not evil walking around in this world and there's demonic spirits that are inhabiting human beings every day. That's why you got to be careful who you hug, man. You got to be careful who you give your energy to. That's why I don't respond to hate and criticism online anymore. I might interact with the chat, I might go off of people, whatever, but I don't even respond to anybody that have that hate in their heart. I don't even want to run into you. I don't want to run into you because I know that it's a possibility that you got a demon inside of you and you can't even control who you are. That's why, man, you got to be careful. All of that tough talk, going back and forth with people, man, I stay out the way, bro. This is New Orleans. This is down in New Orleans. Somebody said, where is this at? It's down in New Orleans. Man, listen, I am very careful of who I even hug, who I give dap to, who I shake hands with. I'm quick to wash my hands 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times out of the day. When I come into the house, I don't even let my shoes go past the door. I don't. I wash my hands as soon as I come into the house, man. Because that junk, and when you spending time around people that's negative or people that got evil intentions or people that do negative stuff in life, it's even worse because eventually that stuff rub off on you. When you start to normalize it, it actually makes sense for them to do things and you start to rationalize it. And that's why we are all desensitized. We desensitize when it comes to sex. We're desensitized when it comes to crime. We're desensitized when it comes to violence against each other. We think it's cool to fight. Hey, well, at least they threw up their fists and they ain't kill each other. No, you just beat somebody's face in and completely disfigured them for the rest of their life. Everything that we seeing and we programmed and the music that we listening to and the movies that we watch and the stuff that, no, listen. When we see this stuff, we have to call it out and we have to call it for what it is. It's demonic, it's evil, and it's something that is beyond this world because nobody in their right mind would ever do this unless they had something evil within them.
That they used to wave to every morning, the children that used to play with their own children, the children that they used to do celebrations with for holidays and things like that, they're no longer with us. So it's been a brutal awakening for a lot of the people that live here in the area.
Yeah, it's just devastating. Thanks a lot there, Andres, for your work all morning as well. Well, neighbors of the family say they were heartbroken over the news and angry over the senseless crime. The neighbor who gave us this ring camera video says she and her husband told firefighters there were children still inside when they first arrived. They also helped to perform CPR on 2 of the children. They were pulled out of the house. The neighbor, who did not wish to be identified, says she's known the 3 kids since they were born. She watched them grow over the years. She says she couldn't imagine losing her children in such a violent and senseless way.
This is horrible. This is absolutely
God.
horrible. I just can't imagine being her right now and dealing with this, losing my children.
Now, we have reached out to the NOPD multiple times for more information on updates or a search for a suspect.
You know, this guy is still at large. Do you know that it's a possibility that there's somebody that's around him, that's helping him, that's protecting him? Look at that. I can't even be around you if you're that type of person. I can't even be around you if you on that type of time, bro. I don't even want to be friends. I can't, man. I can't wrap my head around it. This is insane, yo. And he's still at large. He's still running around out here. Pray for the family. And if anybody sees this guy, let me put him back up. Hold on, where he at? If anybody see this guy, get this dude up out of there ASAP. Get him up out of there ASAP. Call your local authorities. Don't approach him. Don't say what up. Don't have a conversation with him. Don't try to hold him accountable. Just call the police, get him arrested, and get him up out of there ASAP. Hopefully they got capital punishment wherever it is that they prosecute him.